As part of MongoDB database operations, we have already understood how to perform basic CRUD operations. Now let us do the same using Mongoose with Node. Let us explore this using employee schema. Already we have created the schema and then we have created the model. Using that model, we have created an object, and using that object, we have inserted the data and we have validated it. Using the same employee schema and employee model, we'll actually explore other operations as well. So here, to keep it clean, I'm exiting from this node and starting it once again. First, we need to establish the MongoDb connection. This will take care of establishing the MongoDB connection. As part of MongoDB database operations, we have already understood how to perform basic CRUD operations. Now let us do the same using Mongoose with Node. Let us explore this using employee schema. In this case, CRUD stands for create, read, update, and delete. I have emphasized on that even when we spoke about database operations using MongoDB. As part of this topic, while we explore CRUD operations, we'll also modularize the code a bit, and also we will start using IDE. So far, I have used command prompt. Using command prompt is not very practical in developing complex applications, and hence we should start getting used to IDE. As part of the setting up of development environment, I have shown how to set up Visual Studio Code on Windows. However, for the demonstration purposes, I will be using Webstorm from JetBrains. Webstorm is a premium product, and I have a license already with Webstorm, and hence I will be demonstrating using Webstorm. It is same as Visual Studio Code in many aspects. However, when it comes to developing the code, Webstorm is a bit more elaborative while providing the information, which make us the concepts understand a bit clear. That being said, let me launch Webstorm here. I am opening the existing project which we have set up from the terminal. It is part of itversity projects. So I have to go to the projects directory. This is the one. And then we have to go to this Mongoose demo, and then we can say open. And you can see the project directory. As of now, we did not create any programs. That's why you don't find anything over here. However, you have the node modules, which is downloaded when we actually ran npm install for Mongoose. And then we have package.json. You can review the package.json. As of now, we only have Mongoose dependency in it. Apart from that, there are not much important files in this. Now, to modularize the code, first I'll be creating a JavaScript file called as employee model. We can say new JavaScript file, and then we can give the name. So in this case, I'm giving the name as employee model. So as part of the employee model, I just want to have the necessary logic to define the schema and create the model using that schema. As I want to use it elsewhere, I have to export that. And hence I will have a piece of code to export this module. It will start like this: const mongoose equal to require mongoose. And then we have to copy paste this piece of code. You can see that mongoose model employee is exported using module.exports. So we have successfully created a JavaScript program which creates a model for us. We can use this model in multiple programs while performing the CRUD operations. So here I'll be creating a program for insert, a program for update, a program for delete, and also a program for find, just to understand all the aspects of CRUD operations using Mongoose. That being said, even though we are writing multiple programs, these are all standalone programs. Here we haven't started developing the backend applications using Node and MongoDB with Express. We will get into those details once we understand all basic operations that can be performed using JavaScript directly. That being said, the first program which I will be creating here is nothing but add employee. So the name of the JavaScript program is nothing but add employee.js. You can see here. So here we need to establish the connection to the Mongo database, and then we have to use this employee model which is created as part of employee model.js, and we should be able to perform the insert operation. So first and foremost, we should import all the packages which are installed using npm, and then we should import the custom modules which we have developed. So first I'm creating a variable called as mongoose equal to require mongoose. This is just a best practice that we first import the packages that are installed using npm, and then import the custom packages or custom programs. In this case, I am creating a model by name employee model, and it is from the current directory employee model. Once you define these two variables pointing to these packages or custom modules. Now we should start developing the code to first establish the database connection, and then use this employee model to create employee object, and then save the object into the collection employees in HR database. So first we will be creating a variable called as MongoDB. It is nothing but of type string type. It contains MongoDB URL with the server name, port number, and then database, which is nothing but HR. Then we can say mongoose.connect, and as part of connect we can pass two arguments. One is MongoDB, second one is the JSON object with options such as use new URL parser with true, and then we have to use catch. We can say throw error. So this is the advantage of using Webstorm. You can see that when it comes to catch, we are actually catching on reject, because mongoose.connect gives a promise have satisfied and rejected, so catch will be triggered on rejected. Once we have the connection established, now we can actually say const employee equal to, and then we can copy paste this to create employee object. As there is an object with employee ID 207 already, here I am connecting to Mongo database and then switching to HR database, and then I am saying db.employees.delete one employee ID 207, so that there won't be any issue when we run this program. Now I am coming out of this. As we have created this employee object, I can say employee.save, as we have seen already. As save returns a promise, we can say then. You can see the syntax here. So when it comes to promise, we have on fulfilled or on rejected. So then will be triggered on fulfilled. As part of then, we have to pass a function as argument. That function takes the object which is saved. So in this case, we can say employee saved, and then we can print whatever details we want to print here, and then we can have catch error, and then we want to just close the connection and throw the error if there are any exceptions. If you want to preview the data after saving, we can actually run find and we can validate. However, we'll be getting the details as part of the console here. Here I'm only printing employee ID. If you want to get everything, you can just remove this employee ID, save it, and then you can right click and run. Either you can use command prompt to run this by using Node, or you can just right click and run this program, and you can see the output here. Okay, so this is about inserting a document into the collection employees, which takes care of the create part of CRUD operations. Now let us come up with a JavaScript program which takes care of the read operation from CRUD operations. Here I can actually copy paste this addEmployee.js, just rename it as getEmployee.js. First I will be developing a program where I'll be fetching only one employee, and then we'll actually develop a program where we'll be fetching multiple employees. So when it comes to getting data from a collection, we don't need to create a employee object using model, and hence we can remove this piece of code, and also I would remove this piece of code also. Now you can see that we have the piece of code which actually import the required packages as well as custom modules, and then establishes a connection to MongoDB database. Once that is done, you can actually use the model to just get one employee document. I just have to use find one. As part of the find one, we have to pass the condition. Let's say I want to fetch employee object with employee ID 207, which was just inserted earlier. When we actually execute this find one, it will return a query. It will not actually execute in the database and fetch the results. To actually execute this query object, we have to invoke exec. It will take care of executing against the database. Once it is executed, it will return a promise. As it returns a promise, we have to implement then as well as catch. Then for unfulfilled and catch for unrejected. As we are using find one and as it will return only one document, the function that needs to be passed to then will take an argument of simple object type, which is nothing but our employee object. So here I can say then employee implies console.log employee, and then we need to take care of closing the connection. This is just optional. If you just close the connection, the control will be returned automatically for you. Otherwise, you have to kill the session by clicking on this. That being said, we will just copy paste this piece of code to close the connection. As part of the catch, we can use this entire piece of code, because we just want to throw the exception, and before throwing the exception we just want to close the connection. Now we can validate this by right clicking and then by saying run get employee.js, and you can see the document here. This is to fetch one document based upon a particular condition. Now if I want to fetch multiple documents, for that we need to use find. Let us copy this JavaScript program and paste it as get employees. Most of the logic is same, only thing is here we have to say find instead of find one, and if you want you can actually pass a particular condition. However, I am not going to pass any condition, which means it has to return all 108 records which are there in the employees collection in HR database. However, instead of printing all 108, I just want to preview the data by fetching first 10 records, and hence I can say limit of 10 here. Because find returns multiple documents, the argument which needs to be passed to this arrow function that is passed to then is a array. It's not a simple document, and hence I am naming it as employees here. As it returns an array, we have to use the appropriate API to process the array. If you say employees here and say dot, you will see the APIs such as for each to iterate through the elements in this array or collection. So I can say employees dot for each. Again, for each take a arrow function. As part of that arrow function, we can pass individual employee as an argument, and hence I am naming it as employee here. And I just want to say console.log of employee, and that's it. We will be able to fetch multiple documents, and we should be able to print using this simple logic. You can see that there are 10 documents printed here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So both these JavaScript programs, get employee and get employees, take care of the read part of CRUD operations. As we understood create and read, now let us talk about update, and then we'll also see the delete. So when it comes to update, we'll be creating a new program. Again, we'll be using this get employee as baseline and paste it here, and then let's say update. So this part will not change because we have to import the necessary packages and custom modules, and then we have to establish the connection to the MongoDB database. If you want to make them reusable, you can do so, but I just don't want to do it here. When it comes to actual backend development, we will understand how to modularize more formally. That being said, here everything else is almost same, but instead of find one, we will say find one and update. So we are trying to get one document and we are trying to update certain information in that document. When it comes to find one and update, we should not have this exec. Let us rename this argument as employee updated, and we'll print that here. On top of find one and update, to update we can also use update one. If you just want to update one document, if you want to update multiple documents, you can use update many, so on and so forth. However, update will only tell how many match the criteria and how many are updated. That is the case with update one and update many. Find one and update will actually return the existing document after updating the document in the database. So in this case, if I say console.log employee updated, you will be seeing the old data with salary 10,500. However, I want to reset the salary to this employee ID 207 to a higher value. So as part of find one and update, first we need to pass the query like this. After the query, we need to have the logic to update. So here we will be using set, and as part of the set, we'll be setting the salary to 11,000. Earlier it was 10,500. Now we are setting it to 11,000. Now we can save this. As we are trying to update only one document, it will only return that document, and hence we can directly say console.log, as it doesn't return the group of documents or collection of documents or list of documents. Now we can run this, and you can see the document which is returned, the salary is 10,500. However, if you go to MongoDB database here and then say use HR and then db.employees.find employee ID 207, then pretty. Okay, salary is still 10,500. So there is some logic issue here. Yeah, here we should not have dollar. So I can save this and run this. still it is returning 10,500 as the salary, because find one and update will return the old document before the update. However, if I go to the terminal and run this command in the database directly, you see that salary is updated to 11,000. This is how you can take care of update operation. There are several APIs: update, update one, update many, find one and update, so on and so forth. As we are done with create, read and update, now let's talk about delete. Again, when it comes to delete, we can just copy paste this program as baseline. We just have to say delete employee here as program name. We can keep everything as is. All you need to do is you just have to say delete one, and then you can actually pass the criteria using which the object or document should be deleted. However, again, delete one will return only how many rows are deleted. If you want to capture what is deleted, instead of using delete one, you have to say find one and delete. It will return the document that is supposed to be deleted, and we can print on the screen here. Now I can save this and run this. Rest of the stuff is same. You can see that it has returned the document details. However, if we go to the database and run this find command against employee ID 207, it do not return anything because the document is deleted using the delete operation. So this is how you can perform CRUD operations using Mongoose based APIs as part of our JavaScript programs. We will again come back to these things at a later point in time, where we'll be integrating the CRUD operations with Node and Express. As of now, we only performed CRUD operations using standalone JavaScript programs using Mongoose